Hey there, and welcome back to the Son of the Morning Comics channel, where it's Spidey Sunday, and what we're looking at today is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 10. This is following up from last week when we did Spectacular Spider-Man number 9, because it was a two-parter, so I figured we may as well finish it off. So before we open this one up, we'll just update you on what happened quickly in the last issue. Basically, this is the White Tiger. He is an anti-hero. Spider-Man's looked into him. Sometimes he's been a villain, sometimes he's been a good guy. A sacred text had been stolen. Spider-Man thinks that it's the White Tiger. They're both super tough and super fast. And that brings us to the present. Showdown. So, we'll open her up here. So, we got its tiger in a web. So, book here starts off. It shows how Spider-Man's diving in to save the professor here. And he's calling the White Tiger a killer because he thinks he's about to kill this professor, and he's basically telling him, "He's Spidey, you don't understand." And then in the box here it says, "But as you and Pete will soon find out, dear, oh God, things are not always as they seem." So, basically, I mean, this isn't going to be the longest review in the world, I don't think, because a lot of it is just Spider-Man and the White Tiger fighting. And, I mean, how much can I describe punches and kicks? And both of them, they both match each other. That's all you really need to know. Spider-Man is, he's just as fast as the White Tiger. White Tiger is just as strong as Spider-Man. They're both equals there. So, I mean, you see the fights there. The fight's still coming on over here. And so here we actually have something of consequence. So, you can even see on this panel here, the professor's trying to call out to Spider-Man to say, "Hey, you've got it wrong." And he's here basically in his office there. He's admitting that he had stolen the text, and he did it basically. He stole the text because in the first issue, what was going on is there was a protest from a lot of Latin American students because they were going to close the night school. And the night school is very important to their community. And they also had this document, this Erskine manuscript, that was very important to the culture, but also extraordinarily valuable. And the dean of the school wanted to sell it in order to keep the school open. So here you have the professor coming to the realization that what he has done is horribly wrong, because it's had the opposite effect on things. So, not great. And so over here, now we're back at the school itself, where the dean is, wanting to sick the police on the protesters. They're like, "We just want our school. This is ridiculous. It's we deserve this school." And then the Spider-Man White Tiger fight reaches the protest, and they start battling on top of one of the administration buildings. And you can see here the White Tiger tosses Spidey off of the building. It scares people, but they don't know that it's Spider-Man. Then they see that it's Spider-Man, and they're all okay. Well, that's, that's good. At least some know nobody's dying right in front of our eyes. And of course, this gives the Dean, the even more ammunition. Now look, now we have the Spider-Man and White Tiger, romping about on campus because of, naturally, it's the students' fault. And then, there's this poignant little statement here where he's saying to the Dean, saying, "You've called us everything from bums to welfare cheats. We're people. We're people, President Dwyer, and we're gonna win what's ours. 'Cause, mister, we just ain't got nothing else." So then we flip through here, and then of course, for children, it always gotta have the guns. And so now, okay, we have the cop here, the undercover cop, and he is watching in on the Black Hand guys here, and they were also after the manuscript in the last issue, and so he's watching their activities because he knows that they're probably still going to try to get their hands on it. Unfortunately, he crashes through a skylight and then has to quickly defend himself. We'll see what happens. Of course, like I said, Spider-Man and the White Tiger fight quite a lot. So, as you can see, and so then they end up on a truck. And so here we have the professor owning up to what he has done. The Dean thinks that it was the thugs that he saw in the office, who are, of course, the White Tiger and Spider-Man, who are also in on it. He's saying, no, this was all my doing. No one else to blame but me. Then we get back to our cop here, who is surviving so far through his rough situation. And Star-Lord is back. Marvel Preview 11. I think it's Marvel Preview 7. Maybe we'll read that one of these days. Do a video on that first appearance of Star-Lord. Anyway, back to Spider-Man, and so he's the cop's undercovers at his last whim, so he needs to buy himself time. So he tosses his gun at the light, smashes it, and then hops into action. Shockingly enough, Spider-Man and the White Tigers start fighting. But this time, their fight has, it's gone to, like, a different area of the city. And they're now in a more Latin American populated part of New York. And Spider-Man, for the first time in his life, or in his career, is not being cheered on by the fans that are looking on. And this is, this is not normal stuff for Spider-Man. So it's a little strange situation for old Pete. And this all naturally makes Spider-Man realize that the White Tiger and I are not too unalike. And that maybe, there's more to him. Maybe he was framed. Maybe it's all coming to him all at once. Coming to Peter all at once. So he's going to try to let him know that, I don't want to fight you anymore, but he's not buying it at this point. And so, while defending himself, Spider-Man, forgetting that he's a very strong guy, hits this brick wall and it shatters, and on the other side of the wall is a bunch of children. Now, what happens next is the White Tiger jumps over to the children's side where he's going to cover them and take the brunt of this fall and save the children so that, they can survive, and if he dies, he dies. But Spider-Man, with every inch of his being, webs up the wall and holds it in place for as long as he can. I like how he says here, while the world watches and wonders, do Spider-Men get hernias? And so this, of course, now he sees that, White Tiger sees that the wall fell the other way, that Spider-Man pulled it on himself, and he goes to see what's up with him, to try to save him. But, it's Spider-Man. We know he's okay. That was weird. They basically hug it out. Spider-Man explains that he knows that he's innocent. They figure out what they need to do is head back over to the university. The children are all happy because everybody's friends now. And then they dart over to the city, and like I said, they are trying to deal with this here, and basically he's pissed off at him for good reason, but he's starting to understand why he did what he did. At the same time, the undercover cop and the Black Hand, bringing in the Black Hand guys and explaining to them that the manuscript was in danger this whole time. They've been waiting for this opportunity, and so it's a good thing that it wasn't where it was supposed to be, because it would have gotten stolen. And we got happy kids here, which means that the president of the school has decided that they can figure out a way to keep the night school open. And they're friends at the end. And so that's the end of this story. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out is how throughout this entire book, it is very funny that Spider-Man is calling this Latino character Whitey, even though he's the White Tiger. It doesn't age well. But something I'm thinking of when I've read these last two books, revisited them to do these reviews, is that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're always looking for diversity characters that are good characters, like Black Panther that are super cool, that fit in. I'm wondering if there's a missed opportunity here with this character. Now, does he have to be the White Tiger? No, he doesn't have to be the White Tiger. We can change the color that gets put in front of his name, and we can change the color of his suit. I mean, some things are just better if you retcon them, and this would be one of them. But I think that this is a character that could be retconned to be very cool, because he wasn't just in these two issues of the Spectacular Spider-Man. He was in a whole bunch of other issues around the same time. So, I something to think about there. Anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave some comments down there below if you'd like, hit that old notification bell. You can hit me up over at Son of the Morning 7 over on Twitter. I want to thank you very much for joining me here on the Son of the Morning Comics channel. See you next time.